Ryan with the tackle. Morton to Imavavi. To McIntosh. Tries to offload. Taken by Lowry. Long ball. Intercepted. Touched by Otahu. Wave on. Sean Hoppy's got the chance out wide. Cutting me back in. Can he offload? He's still going for the line. What a try! What a try! Sean Hoppy has sent Carlaw Park into an uproar. The Tigers on the prowl.
Last year, the Northcote Tigers beat the Otahu Leopards to win the Fox Memorial Trophy. This year, they are back to the Tigers hit the street with the Fox Parade through Birkenhead. Now today, from Carlaw Park, Lion Red and 3 Sport bring you the final showdown. The Northcote Tigers against the Mount Albert Lions. It's the grand final of the Fox. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our 3 Sport Rugby League special. It's the final match in the Lion Red Auckland Rugby League Premiership. And what a great day today here at Carlaw Park for the climax of the season. For over 60 years, the Fox has been the symbol of supremacy in the Auckland Rugby League. Today, we are down to a battle between the boys from over the bridge, the Northcote Tigers, up against the men from the Mount, the Mount Albert Lions. Former Kiwi Dean Lonergan, how do you see today's big grand final going, Cowboy?
Well, we've got 2 very evenly matched teams here today, but I'm leaning towards Northcote because of their superior size and experience. Both teams have one glaring deficiency to my mind. Northcote's inability to concentrate for 80 minutes is their major problem, and Mount Albert's major problem is an inability with a kicking game. I think the concentration thing can be sorted out, but I don't think Mount Albert's kicking game can, so for that reason I'm going to go with Northcote.
Okay, fighting talk from former Kiwi Dean Lonergan. Also joining us today for expert comments, our sidelined eye, Freddie Arcoy. He's the man from the Mount. You've got to go for Dominic Clark's lads, haven't you, Freddie?
For sure, I'm actually backing them all the way because they're a very young team. They have been very consistent right throughout this year. I don't think they're going to fail this time round. It's only 80 minutes to go for the big one, and I'm really backing them. They're, as I said, they're very young, and you can really throw the form book right out the window now because it's down to the last 80, and as a team that's totally focused on the job today, that's the team that's going to win.
Freddie Arcoy, our sideline eye today. Let's take a look first up at the Mount Albert team for today's grand final. At fullback, we have Tommy Sutton. He's playing his last game today and his second grand final. On the wings, Wayne Trainer and John Zucchini, Michael Patterson and Lani Latour in the centres. Anton Clutterbuck at standoff, Louis Sutton and halfback. Kerry Kite leads out the front row for the Lions, along with hooker Freddie Sapatu and the other big prop, Moali Tonga Unuvai. Lafu Papaligi, the captain in the second row, along with the Auckland rep Tony Tatupu, and Mickey Lakini rounds out their starting 13. Coach, the man with the mission, here's Dominic Clark.
Well, our whole plan really has been to get up on these big Northcote forwards and put them on the ground. If we can continually put them on the ground and make them get up, get back on side before them, then we've got a good chance. I feel our attacking field will come out naturally. We're not planning anything particular, but you know, if we can just weather the storm the first 20 minutes, we've got a good chance.
The line-up today for the Northcote Tigers, David McIntosh at fullback. On the wings, Johnnery McIntyre and Vaiafoa. Former Kiwi Mark Elia partners Logan Campbell in the centres. Kenny McIntosh, the New Zealand Māori rep at standoff, partnering Sean Carey. Jason Lowry leads out the front row for the Tigers, along with the very experienced hooker Richard Greer and Phil Filippo. Donald Stewart and Fasu Afoa, the 2 second runners, and Tony Tuamavavi, their captain, rounds out the starting 13. Coach Graham Norton.
I think it's going to be defence around our ruck zone. That's where we'll be concentrating because they've got some very good ruck runners and we're going to be keeping that area tight. If we do so, we've got the players wide and around the ruck to win the game.
Well, that's the call from the coaches for this afternoon's big grand final. Well, last year he scored a try for the Northcote Tigers, helping them to pick up the win in the Fox Memorial Trophy. And, of course, earlier this year he made the switch to the Parramatta Eels. The slippery halfback joins us now on 3 Sports, Stewie Galbraith. Have you got used to all the hype and hoopla over there in Sydney, mate?
Yeah, I have. You know, there's a great big hype over there, but, you know, we're over there to do a job, and that's to play football and perform, so that's what you put your mind on.
Well, talking about doing a job, you played against the Mount Albert Lions before you made the switch to the Sydney scene this year. You scored 4 tries against them. What's your advice for your old teammates to see if they can pick up another win in the grand final?
I think the biggest advice is they have to go 80 minutes of football and just percentage, you know. They don't have to win it in the first 20.
Stu Galbraith, thanks for joining us on 3 Sport. I know you'll be doing it tough on the sideline, but let's get ready now for the battle of the big cats. And this is the scene in the dressing room for the Northcote Tigers. The 5th time they have been to the grand final of the Fox Memorial, and they've picked up 3 wins out of 4 grand finals so far. Last year, of course, that win over the Otahuhu Leopards by 23 points to 20. They've done it the hard way, sudden death every game, with the win over the Richmond Bulldogs 41-6. They then beat the Te Atatu Roosters 22-8, and they beat Otahuhu last week in the preliminary final 26-20. Back on the field, the team's just about ready to come out for the grand final. Here is the Mount Albert team in the dressing room at the moment. They have won 11 Fox Memorial Grand Finals in this club's magnificent history. The 20th time they are making their final appearance here at Carlaw Park. The last time was back in 1986 when they beat Te Atatu by 31-4. And that day, number 1, Tommy Sutton, was playing. There he is there, and he is playing his last match today for the Mount Albert Lions. A farewell for Big Tommy before he heads off to France to join former Kiwi Mark Bourneville, the other Mount Albert man. And of course, Dean Lonergan, a lot of experience from the coach Dominic Clark, who also played back in 1986, and they are the only 2 members who have actually got grand final experience here for the Mount Albert Lions.
Yeah, Dominic Clark was a major part of the Mount Albert team. Mike McLennan's Mount Albert team that was dominant through the early part of the 80s. And he's obviously got a lot of grand final experience. Whether he can rub that off onto his players, I don't know. Like I said before, I'm tipping a Northcote victory, but we've got 80 minutes of hard football to go, and anything can happen at that time.
There's Big Kerry Kite, Lafu Papali'i, Mawale, Tonga Onuvai. 2 of the hard-working props for the Mount Albert Lions.
17,
and of course, Franklin Whanua. He'll always remember the try he scored against Otahuhu 2 weeks ago to put them into the grand final. And a great day for the Lions in the sun here at Carlaw Park. Earlier in the Premier 1 division. Here comes the Northcote Tigers, the defending Fox Memorial champions and the National Club champions. Led out by the fullback, David McIntosh. He needs 5 points to become the leading point scorer in the Auckland Rugby League Premiership this year. Huge support, and I've just been hit by a football that was kicked into the grandstand by one of the players.
Who threw that? Get down there and sort him out, Clint Brown.
That was right out of the Super Bowl. Here's Tony Turmavavi with that arm which is heavily strapped. He broke it during the 2nd round. Now, so far, these 2 teams have met 3 times this year. In the first round of the Root Rooster, Northcote won by 32 points to 16. In the first round of the actual Lion Red Premiership, it was a very exciting 24-all draw. But the last time, Dean Lonergan, it was a 46-6 win to the Northcote Tigers as they rise to their fans, and their fans rise to the National Club champions.
Well, I don't know if I'd be doing that, to be honest. You only do a victory lap after you've won the game. I don't know what the caper here is. Acknowledging the crowd support, forget about that, just get on with the game of football, because that's what they're here to do. Don't worry about the crowd, that ain't going to help you.
So it's the Lions against the Tigers, the battle of the big cats. Freddie Arcoy, our sideline eye. Tell us about conditions today here at Carlaw Park. It looks pretty good for the grand final.
Conditions are great, mate. It's a nice day for it. Plenty of hype down here in the sideline with all the kids and the cheerleaders and everybody down this way. We're going to have a great game today. Unfortunately, the field's just a bit boggy down in the north end, but I don't think that's going to stop much of the entertainment that's going to happen out there. Really looking forward to a great game today.
Of course, it could go either way. The referee for today's big game, he's Billy Shrimpton. He did it last year in the grand final between Northcote and Otahuhu. And today, referee Billy Shrimpton, he'll be refereeing his 2nd Fox Memorial Grand Final in a row.
Of course, both coaches have said first up, Freddie, that they'll be looking for some big defence in the first 20 minutes. We can expect a fiery opening to this game, I think.
Yeah, I think Northcote will come out and do the same thing they did last week. They'll just come out with all guns blazing. with regards to Mount Albert, they're just going to have weather the storm for the first 20 at least.
The question with Northcote is, mate, is can they keep it up for 80 minutes? They had a definite lapse last week.
Big lapse last week in the second half, and I think that's where Mount Albert may come in on the issue and take over because, as I said earlier on, they're a very cool, calm, collected and very consistent side.
Kenny McIntosh gets us underway in the grand final of the Fox Memorial for 1992 on 3 Sport. Great to have your company for the big one. 80 minutes of non-stop rugby league, down to victory for 92 between the Lions and the Tigers. The Lions have the first taste of possession.
Northcote's defence are obviously looking for a couple of big hits, but they've got to tidy up around that ruck. This is one area of the game that you don't want Mount Albert making early yards is around the ruck.
Kerry Kite. No, it's Michael Patterson, the big centre, looking very similar to the big prop. 40 metres out, just inside their own way of halfway. That's the Lions with the first taste of possession. Moali Tonga Onuvai shaping for the kick. Clutterbuck to Tommy Sutton. Under pressure. Off the side of the boot.
Well, early on we've seen Mount Albert start with a very big deficiency, and that's a poor kicking game, and that's something they're going to have to avoid. They're on the back foot right now. Northcote's right inside their half, and you can put that directly down to poorly organised kicked and poorly performed.
Richard Greer now with the restart. So it's Northcote now. The Tigers, what can they lay on in the first minute of play? Sean Carey, he's the man who's been given the job of filling the boots of Stewie Galbraith. You heard the call from Stu. They have had a problem playing for the full 80 minutes. They went to sleep a little bit in the second spell against Otahu last week. Everyone is aware of that, including, of course, the 13 on the paddock for the Tigers. Tony Tuamavavi. Back to Fasu Afa'a. A few spies from the Canberra Raiders here today to watch out for the form of Tony Tatupu and also Fasu Afa'a, possibly looking for some second rows in the Winfield Cup next year. Up goes the kick. A huge bomb in the red zone. Ball loose. Mount Albert come up with possession.
Well, I don't know about you, Freddie, but I reckon Northcote look just a little bit disorganised on attack there, mate. They're inside the Mount Albert half by 10 yards, and they've only made a further 10 yards in a set of 6.
That's right, they only made 10 in the last 6, as you say. But there's a lot of good chasing out there. Louis Sutton really put pressure on young McIntosh there when he put that bomb up.
Freddie Sapadu getting some good yards there from dummy half. Louis Sutton. Chance for Tony Tatapu, the ranging second rower. Louis Sutton putting it back down towards David McIntosh. He's got the return. 30 metres out, hit by a wall of Lions defence. Louis Sutton chasing up his own kick. Big defence coming in from the Lions. They go in as the top qualifiers, but strangely enough, the underdogs, Dean Lonergan. Loose ball there. Lions come up with it.
Yeah, Northcote had a drop-off in form earlier in the season, which was probably the reason why we didn't see them at the top of the pile, mainly because of representative duties. They had about 8 members in there of their team in the Auckland team, and that takes you away for 6 games of the year.
Nervous coach Graham Norton for the Northcote Tigers trying to do the double today. They won it last year, looking for back-to-back victories. Fire for the big hit man. You said they should bring him in early. They do, but the Lions were waiting.
I'd like to see a lot more involvement today from Vi than we saw last week. When he gets involved, he is absolutely devastating, and he's as good as another forward out in that paddock, except probably a little bit fresher than the forwards because it doesn't have to do as much work, so when he comes in, can have a much bigger impact.
Down the left flank, Fasu Afa'a almost breaking his way through. 40 metres out now from the Lions line. Greer to Carey. McIntosh, kick and chase. Elia on the chase. Tommy Sutton's got the ball. And a penalty. And shepherding against the Lions. Obstruction there. I think it was Louis Sutton, was it?
Yeah, Louis Sutton looking after his brother Tommy, and I think it's a very good call there by Billy Shrimpton.
Here it is. Tommy Sutton has the ball. Mark Elia on the chase, and Louis just got him between Elia and his brother Tommy.
There's good work here by Mark Elia, chasing through nice and hard and picking up the penalty. That's what pressure does to teams. Makes them come up with mistakes.
So dancing in the shadows there. And the first chance for the nerves to be settled for this man, Graham Norton. He won't have any fingernails after this game left. They'll be chewed down to the bone.
Probably won't have any toenails left either if he carries on.
So it's David McIntosh, 160 points so far in the season. Can he make it? 162. First points in the grand final. Over the black dot. Northcote lead 2-0.
Early mistake coming from Mount Albert, and that's what grand final pressure's all about. They're going to have to get that sorted out. Mount Albert have been on the back foot since we started this game through their inability to kick out of trouble.
So the restart now for Wayne Trainer and the Mount Albert Lions. 5 minutes gone. Northcote leading Mount Albert by 2 points to 0. A nervous start, Freddie Arcoy, by both teams.
Both teams, yeah. Just referring with regards to Mount Albert's kicking game, I think they may be better off trying to kick up from the front line rather than trying to pass it back deep and get the line down there. But they'd be better off going first up from the front.
I have to agree with you there, Freddie, because they don't have an ability to kick deep. Every time they do, it's going straight to Dave McIntosh.
That's right.
Encouraging set of 6 here so far for the Tigers as Mark Elia got them out to about 30 metres away from their own goal line. Carry now, centre field. Greer at dummy half. McIntosh. Donald Stewart suffered a shoulder injury against the game in Otahu last week, playing with a small problem with his AC joint. As big Phil Filippo gets dealt to, the two opposite numbers, the 2-10, points out of 10 between that clash, even Stevens. Possibly in favour of Mo Ali. Tommy Sutton can't hold on to it.
Northcote's strength is their kicking game. They've got a very good kicking game, and we've seen Northcote with a very good kick there pull off 50 metres, and that just makes your football a lot easier to play if you can do that.
John Sakini over the corner line for the Lions. Dominic Clark has these boys pumped up. Only one player on their starting 13 has played in a grand final before. Making his debut, Lafu Papali'i, the captain. Compare that with the experience of the Northcote team, where 8 players played in the grand final win over Otahu last year. John Sakini. Long ball from Clutterbuck. Kerry Kite. Last tackle for the Lions. Clutterbuck with the kick. McIntosh will run it out from the red zone. Chases up there for the Lions. Northcote slow to get back, slow to get reorganised. Johnnery McIntyre squashed by Tony Tatipu. In the Premier 3 grand final earlier today, Glenfield beat Southern United by 22-15. And in the Premier 2 grand final, this is coach Dominic Clark watching anxiously as the Lions try and put the pressure on Northcote with that clearing kick. In the Premier 2 grand final, Ellerslie beat Barras by 22-4 in a fiery encounter.
That's much better football from Mount Albert. They've put a good kick through. They've kept Northcote in their own 22 for a set of 6, and then when they get the ball back from the kick return, they're inside Northcote's half. I'd like to see Mount Albert spinning the ball wide from here and doing something with their backs.
Here's Sapatu from hooker, driven back by his opposite number, Greer. The Lions looking for a way through. Clutterbuck down the left flank. Tony Tatapu slips, wrapped up by Tony Tuamavavi. Latoa, 30 metres out. The Lions on the attack. Clutterbuck to Lakini, Papali'i, Michael Patterson. It could open up for Mount Albert. Northcote closed the door. 10 metres out now, Mount Albert. First real chance to put points on the board. Sakini, back to Lakini. Louis Sutton, last tackle. Clutterbuck putting the kick through. Firefo is going to run it out. And he's going to get hit by 2 Lions chasing up. Dominic Clark, the coach for Mount Albert, riding every move on the paddock. Vaiafoa. 18 stone of non-stop rugby league action. Gets a little bit of a clip in the face there from Kerry Kite for good measure. And the 2 boys stand up in back play. It's a sign of the nerves, a sign of the pressure. Northcote keeping that ball under control and once again getting into that early kicking game. Sutton. He's a very effective player, and he gets a penalty. Northcote all over him. Freddie Arcoy, that was right in front of you. How did you call that from the sideline?
Yeah, it looked like it was a second tackle there from Filippo, and he came in just late and just went a little bit high on Sutton. But of the two teams so far, Mount Albert are really feeling very urgent. They've got a lot of urgency in their movement, and they're going really well at the present stage.
Yeah, they've spent the last 5 minutes inside the Northcote 22, and Northcote have found it. They're trying to run out close to the ruck, Freddie, but they can't seem to bust out of that 22. But having said that, their kicking game is saving them a bit.
10 minutes gone on 3 Sport with the Fox Memorial Grand Final for 1992. Northcote leading by 2 points to 0, just 1 penalty so far in the game. Tackles in possession, pretty even at this stage. 23-20, Northcote just in front, dominating time with the ball, but now Northcote coming back. Mount Albert, I should say.
Everyone runs long kick. Back off. Shut up.
In the opposition half, 9-6. The Lions have that advantage there, Dean Mulligan.
They do indeed.
Now, this is a penalty which has gone against the Northcote Tigers. Once again, muscling in on the play the ball. And Lafu Papali'i didn't get the chance to play the ball when the referee called held. Logan Campbell and Sean Carey driving him back. So it's Wayne Trainer now to the right of the uprights. Kick of about 35 metres. 12 minutes gone, and Wayne Trainer will need this to level the ball game at 2 points all.
Wayne's a very good kicker. You're not expecting to put us over under normal circumstances, but this isn't normal. This is grand final football, and the pressure counts for a lot more.
So he scored a couple of tries against Mount Albert earlier, against Northcote earlier this year. He's kicked 149 points for the season.
Well, I'll back him in on this one, Clint.
He'll need this to settle the nerves for the Lions. Can Wayne Trainer put them on the scoreboard? No, it's away to the right. Mark Elliott's got to run it out from his dead ball line. Gets it over the goal line, just.
Well, I'm glad I'm not a betting man. It would have cost me then.
Vaiafoa going across field. The hitman, he's gone about 15 metres sideways. Northcote still under pressure. Good ball here for McIntosh. Could open up for McIntyre. Good kick through. Louis Sutton going back, diving on it for the Lions. And coming away with it. That's good skills.
Clear it, clear it, clear it, clear it.
Plenty of atmosphere in this grand final. Mount Albert now. 30 metres out. Clutterbuck. They go long to Latoa. Tony Tatapu. Taken down low, taken up high. 4-3 missed tackles. Still very even in the early stages. Mount Albert now with another chance. Freddie Sapatu back towards the ruck. Still going Sapatu, dodging off those tackles. Now it's the 5th tackle. Where will the kick go? Sutton, Clutterbuck towards the corner. Well read by Kenny McIntosh.
I don't know if today, Clint, is a day, especially the side that Mount Albert's attacking from, is the time to put it on the ground. They've got a major advantage with that sun in Northcote's eyes, and perhaps that kick should have gone up in the air.
How do you see it, Freddie Arcourt? Do you think they should be putting the ball in the air a bit more?
Yeah, well, I don't really think so. I think they should have put it through the hands because Lekini was well in the gap there, and Clutterbuck didn't see him. So they've got to take their options a bit better, I think.
Especially with the amount of attacking football they've had inside Northcote's 22, Freddie.
That's right. They've got to make sure that when they're going this way, they've got to come away with some points.
This is Logan Campbell getting up towards the halfway mark. Now it's Northcote. Carey. Huge ball out to Tony Tuamavavi. Puts the kick in as he gets Lekini at the same time. Tommy Sutton runs it out from his corner line. Straight and hard. Over 150 games playing in his farewell appearance today for the Lions. Lani Latoa busting up towards the halfway. 15 minutes gone. Still only the 2 points between the two sides. Lafu Papali'i back inside to Michael Patterson. The Lions do some damage out wide. Lakini. They move it left to the open side. Moali bulldozing his way up towards the corner line. Clutterbuck. Sapatu almost loses it. Still dodging, weaving, now going straight ahead. Freddie Sapatu back to Louis Sutton. Last tackle. Lions with a great chance to score. Kite, Clutterbuck, the kick. There's no one home. McIntosh. But the ball beats them all.
Well, perhaps another opportunity there lost. Freddie, he should have spun the ball and used those hands again, because Northcote were definitely caught short out here wide on the left-hand side.
Yeah, they got numbers out wide. If you notice, Dean, that Dominic Clark has actually split his second row as they're playing left and right. Lafu Papali'i staying on the right side and Tatupu staying out here on the left.
Interesting tactic, Freddie. That's what they use over in Sydney. They'll split left and right centres and left and right second rows.
Yeah, well, that's what they're doing today, and I think you'll never see Lafu out this way, this side of the field anyway.
Now it's Phil Filippo. Got a lovely short ball from Jason Lowry. 40 metres out now, Northcote. They've been under pressure. Little good ball from Jason, from Greer. Fire, the hitman. Great desperation defence there by the Lions.
Excellent tackle there by Louis Sutton. Via far weighs about 18 stone. Little Sutton weigh about 8.
Carey.
Plenty of courage.
McIntosh. Out to Afoa. Fasu Afoa. Vi's brother, and he loses the ball.
Well, Northcote suffering there from not being deep enough. They're just taking that ball, passing it flat-footed. If they want to make inroads into this man-out defence, you're going to have to hit that ball hard and strong from their position.
Keep it down. Back off. Too high.
You heard the call there on 3 Sport. That's the reason for the penalty. Northcote going too high in the tackle. Mount Albert get the chance to relieve the pressure. And there's Clutterbuck. He got clipped around the old mouth there. Bit of the Colgate tackle.
So tackle coming from behind.
Elia can't hold on to it. Northcote just have to try and settle themselves down a bit. Phil Filippo.
That's a definite no-no. They've just, Northcote just given, Mount Albert just given up 6 tackles and handed over the ball to 6 to Northcote. Can't afford to make those base mistakes on grand final day, like missing the lines through kicking.
Now it's McIntosh to Logan Campbell. Greer down the right flank. Little kick, well read by Tommy Sutton. Sutton. Electrifying from fullback. Sapatu. He's an elusive runner. Sutton to Lakini, shows the ball and tries to go through. Defence coming in from Jason Lowry. Sapatu again. Allowed to run by Northcote. Could open up for the Lions. Logan Campbell on the tackle. Wayne Trainer. There's no one home back for Northcote, but the ball's going to go dead. End of the first quarter. Only 2 points the difference. And Northcote leading by 2 points to 0. Wayne Trainer had one chance to try and level the ball game. He missed with that kick. So now it's Northcote. What about the pace of this match so far, Dean Lonergan?
Well, it's been very fast, but one thing that's a little bit disturbing at the moment is a whole lot of indiscriminate kicking going on in the second, third and fourth tackle, and it doesn't seem to be getting a whole lot of results. And that's coming from both sides. We just saw an example there from Wayne Trainer, and before that, but from Richard Greer. So perhaps they're going to be planning their kicks a little bit better. There's nothing wrong with kicking to vary the play, but at the moment, I'll be tending to run those 6 tackles out before I'm kicking.
Down the right flank, big defence coming in for the Lions. Tony Tatapu. Jason Lowry, one of the New Zealand Māori reps on the Northcote side. One of the 8 Auckland reps playing today in this team. Mark Elia, the former Kiwi, busting his way through over halfway. Elia with a good run to try and spark the Tigers onto attack. Carey, McIntosh, Fasu Afoa. Up towards the corner line. Last tackle. McIntosh to McIntosh. He's gone for the field goal. And the referee says yes. 20 minutes gone. McIntosh has 3 points, and so too do the Northcote Tigers. They lead by 3 points to 0. And here's the shot from our 3-sport goal cam, the goal post camera. It's just on the right post, and there it goes, straight down the middle.
Freddie, there's nothing wrong with taking points early on, but, mate, we're only 20 minutes into this game. Northcote had 3 or 4 tackles left, and they decided to go with the drop goal. Do you think that was the right option to take, or should they have continued to attack?
Well, at this stage, I think that as far as points are concerned, for me, if you can get a point every time you come down here, that's good enough for me. I mean, you can win a blue game with 1 point, as we saw yesterday with regards to Newcastle and St George.
Can't argue with that, mate, but, yeah, I'm just a little bit apprehensive about it. It shows they haven't got a lot of faith in their attacking ability.
Fasuafara, I should say, just strolling up with that ball return. Perhaps that should have been the drop goal the Newcastle Knights were looking for yesterday. Over the quarter line, Tony Tuamavavi playing the ball. Greer, Jason Lowry, in for his second grand final in 2 years. Greer, Filippo. Greer again. Mark Elia. Little wee chip and chase. And the ball beats them both over the sideline. 43-36. Northcote starting to dominate possession. Mount Albert doing more tackling. But in the opposition half, the story goes towards the Lions.
Holding up.
Well, at the moment, Mount Albert's dominating just about 2-1 in the possession of opposition half, but they're certainly not dominating on the scoreboard. That's where it counts most.
So the scrum, 40 metres out. Mount Albert Lions on their side of halfway.
Get out!
And this is almost about to bust up. There was a really ugly brawl in the Premier 2 grand final between Ellerslie and Marist.
Go back yard.
Of course, you've got a physical contact sport here. And Billy Shrimpton laying down the law.
Well, you don't go on the ground. You don't drop the loose arm. It's as simple as that. One scrum, one result, okay? No weight, just give it to him, all right? That's it. Down we go.
So, Mount Albert, you hear the call there, and Tommy Sutton has seen a great break, and he's made a great break. He's gone 20 metres, 30 metres. Tommy Sutton sparking the Lions onto attack. Louis Sutton, Clutterbuck. That ball was forward to Lani Latoa. Referee couldn't see it. He was back watching the 5 for Northcote. Moali coming back in. Keeps it alive for Lani Latoa. Mount Albert looking dangerous. 15 metres out now. Northcote have got back and reorganised their defence. Clutterbuck, Lakini, Fasuafara wrapping him up over the top. Northcote, Coach Norton watching. Tony Tatapu towards the goal line, down the left flank. Last tackle. Sutton, Clutterbuck, little wee chip through. Taken by Kenny McIntosh. He's read that play all day. He's been waiting for those kicks from Clutterbuck.
He has.
Almost an untidy play of the ball, but Donald Stewart relieves the pressure. Greer, 5 metres out.
Mount Albert just a little bit predictable on that 5th tackle inside the 22. They looks like they're going to put the ball on the ground all day, and the Northcote defence is reading that very well. Kenny McIntosh, well done.
McIntosh to Mark Elia. A lot of people have been tipping he could be the man to make the difference, the former Kiwi, with his big experience in the Winfield Cup out in the UK.
Well, we've seen Mark Elia burst on the ball once today, and he made about 40 yards to set up that drop goal. So plenty more of those runs. Should see him making a few more breaks.
Tony Tuamavavi wrapped up just as he got the pass away to McIntosh. So Kenny McIntosh now. Straight down the throat of Trainer.
Obstruction. Right out. Same thing, obstruction.
And Kenny McIntosh has been penalised for obstructing one of the Mount Albert Lions players. And now there's a penalty.
That was good work there by Wayne Trainer. He saw the opportunity to take a quick tap and make a further 10 yards to set up the kick for goal. So top work by Wayne Trainer.
25 minutes gone in the first half. The grand final for 92. The hunt is on for the Fox.
Wayne Trainer comes up here, sees a quick tap. Northcote's well offside. That's a lot of experience for you. Wayne's played for Auckland on more than one occasion, and he's seen an opportunity and he's grabbed it with both hands, so good work. Sets himself up for a nice and easy 2 points.
Freddie Arcoy, a few silly mistakes coming from the Tigers.
Yeah, it was a lack of experience there also from McIntosh himself. I mean, he was the guy that gave the penalty away, and then instead of getting back his 10 metres that, or even running back 10 metres with Wayne Trainer and then making the tackle, he fell into the old trap of getting up there pretty quickly.
Well, he's missed one kick. Can Wayne Trainer get this attempted goal to put the Lions on the board? Virtually straight out in front. Up go the flags. And support for the Mount Albert Lions. Northcote now lead by 3-2. And we've got 15 minutes to go before halftime. That look says it all. Coach Graham Norton. He'll be thinking about his changes for the second spell. And his halftime message. Lani Latoa. McIntosh with the restart. Had a very good game against Otahu last week. Scored the match-winning try that put them through to today's grand final. Gave his father, who is on the squad, the backup support team for the Tigers, the best Father's Day present he could ever have. Patterson. Mawali. No, it's Lafu Papali'i. Frenzy Sapatu up towards the 40-metre mark. 40 metres out. The Lions with the centre six. Tony Tatapu. Fifth tackle.
That's someone I'd like to see get more involved for the Lions, is Tony Tatapu. I blew that, didn't I?
Tony Tatapu.
Yeah. He's been hanging out wide too much. I'd like to see him come in and do a bit more work because he's got great offloading skills.
McIntosh dives under the defence, right on the corner line. Carey now. Vaiafoa coming in off the wing. Big tackle going in from Lafu. Now it's Mark Ulia running straight and hard again, the former Kiwi. Greer. Phil Filippo. This pack is bigger than the one that won the grand final last year for Northcote. Greer. Over halfway. McIntosh with the kick again. Just bounces it out.
This forward pack might be bigger than last year's one, Clint, but I don't know if they're using it well enough. At the moment, they're just trying to power their way through the middle of the ruck, and Mount Albert's extremely strong over there. So, you know, Mount Albert, to my mind, really are dominating. Even though they're a little bit behind the scoreboard, are playing the better football at the moment. What do you think, Freddie?
Yeah, I agree, because there's a lot of agency in their play, especially with their front men. The big boys, as far as Northcote are concerned, they're still like just going in ones and twos at the present moment and nothing destructive.
Make it up.
They are, mate, and we haven't seen Northcote throw the ball out to their backs yet.
No, not yet. They're actually coming in looking for it at the moment.
12 minutes to go before half-time, and it's Wayne Trainer now to Mawali. And once again, Northcote.
5 metres. 5 back.
Up inside the 5 metres. Tony Turmavavi, the captain, gives away the penalty.
11 Northcote and me after the ball had been played.
Over here.
Last play of the ball.
Cheers, mate.
All right, Grant Wallace coming in. And that goes against Donald Stewart for putting a knee in after the tackle.
Touch judge, watching the play the ball, which they're doing all the time. You gave a knee after the play the ball as the marker. It stays right out. It wasn't accidental, that's why he's here reporting it. The crap stays right out. Penalty against you.
Well, that's in basic language, and it's very simple, laying down the basics there. Referee Billy Shrimpton on 3 Sport. And it was a little wee punch, not a knee.
Well, regardless of what it was, well-deserved penalty. Good call by the linesman and Billy Shrimpton.
So right on halfway, 10 minutes to go before the break. Only 1 point the difference It's a very tight grand final this year. Mount Albert have dominated most of possession. Now they've got a chance. They go back down the left flank, switching the ball. Clutterbuck's lost it. Referee says it's gone backwards. But I suggest the fans from Northcote won't be happy with that because it looked like it may have gone forwards. Well, Tony Tuamavavi's been sent to the sin bin here for 10 minutes for a professional foul.
Well, that's unfortunate for Northcote. Probably a silly mistake by Tony T, especially coming straight after that infringement by Donald Stewart. Tony Tuamavavi, you can guarantee, has been the highest tackler today, and he'll be a big loss for 10 minutes against this Mount Albert side. Tony T gets up, comes in late.
And over the top.
Well, I think Tony Tuamavavi has been hard done by there.
Mind you, Sakini's not too happy about it, or Lakini, I should say.
Well, I have to disagree with referee Billy Shrimpton there. I think he might have got just a little bit carried away after the Donald Stewart incident. I don't think Tony Tuamavavi deserved 10 minutes in the bin for that infringement. If it was an infringement at all, I don't even know if they deserve a penalty.
So it's Mount Albert now with a chance to try and convert that penalty into points and take the lead. Remember, Northcote are down to 12 men right up until half-time. Another 9 minutes to go. Trainer, has he got the PhD? Power, hasn't quite got the direction, and certainly hasn't got the height. McIntyre's got the speed, though, to try and run the Tigers out of trouble. Still going, Johnnery McIntyre. Donald Stewart. Lions bustling in on the tackle. McIntosh dumped to the ground. There's Tony Tuamavavi, time to cool off before half-time.
Cool off, he's probably sitting there wondering why am I here? I didn't deserve it.
Back on the field, Greer, the vice-captain, will take over the leadership of the Tigers. Mark Elia. Last tackle, McIntosh gets his kick away under pressure. Trainer takes it. Back to Tommy Sutton. Up towards halfway, hit by Filippo and Kenny McIntosh. Lani Latar right on halfway. Scrambling defence by the Tigers. Mount Albert, they've got the advantage, but they haven't got the ball. Stewart's picked it up, and he's got it out to Greer. Greer looking for his winger, trying to run Johnnery McIntyre in. Well covered by the Lions defence, but that's the first bit of sparkling rugby league in this game so far. It's been a tight, tough encounter. McIntosh, long ball, it can't open up for Filippo. Fire forward towards the corner. The hitman goes in. Northcote down to 12 men, and they come back and score the try.
Well, that's the first time we've really seen Northcote throw that ball wide, and they come up with a try first time round.
Sensational rugby league, and it all started from that brilliant run by Greer, and then the overlap for Vaiafoa. He scored 22 tries so far in the season, and he goes in for number 23, the first of the grand final.
Once that man gets the line in sight, there's no one on earth going to stop him. He's 18 stone. He's too big and too powerful. Clutterbuck can dive in desperate defence, misses out.
It's a great try by Four, all right, but the lead-up work was really done by Donald Stewart and also Richard Greer when they took that ball off the Mount Albert attack. But great try there by Four.
Yeah, it was Freddie set up by Greer and Stewart, but you've got to admit this cutout pass here by Kenny McIntosh, mate. This one right here, I think it is.
Did it go forward?
I don't think so. It goes straight out to Filippo. He looks for Vaiafoa.
That one there, on the previous replay, I thought it may have been forward, but on the previous replay, it looked like a good line ball.
Now, all the balls that are from the sideline here, and I was right in front of it, they were good. They were all good balls.
Yeah, I thought so. Good decision there by Billy Shrimpton.
So, the Northcote Tigers with their captain in the sin bin, and they dig deep. to claw back the lead. David McIntosh from the sideline. Can he add the extra points? Towards the posts. And it's away to the right. We've got 5 minutes to go before half-time. Vaiafa with that spectacular try, the hitman. 105 kilos.
I'm extremely dubious about that weight.
26-year-old brother of Fasuafoa. 23 tries for the season. And he gives Northcote the lead by 7 points to 2. Tony Tuamavavi will be wondering the roar from the crowd. Was it for the Tigers? Or was it for the Lions?
You'll find out soon enough when it comes up to halftime.
Now it's Jason Lowry steaming up towards the quarter line. Fasuafoa. Greer. Donald Stewart.
That's better work for the Northcote forwards. They're sharing the load and getting wider of the ruck. They're not so easy to pick off, and they're making good yardage because of it.
Big Filippo up towards halfway. Greer again to Kenny McIntosh. Back to Elia. Good little scissors switch around, but well read by the Lions defence. Wrapped up by Sutton and Patterson. Fifth tackle. Carry, kick and chase into the box. Sutton going back and taken by his opposite number. Freddie Harcourt, do you think the game is just switching in favour of Northcote a bit?
Well, it would be after that try that Vaiafa scored, and now they've sort of like got it in their blood again. That the fire is starting to rekindle, and certainly Northcote, with regards to Tony Tuamavavi and the inside in the dressing rooms, they'll certainly want to make up for that, and they're certainly doing it okay. It can work for you when you lose a man.
Northcote's definitely sparked up.
Well, the ball's come out to Fasuafoa. Sorry, guys. Little bit of a chance there. The ball went wandering from the Lions' hands, and now it's in the lineup of the Tigers. Northcote inside the red zone now. McIntosh, no one out there. Stewart tries to offload, slips the ball down. McIntosh dives on it. 3 more tackles. Fasuafoa back inside, picked up by McIntosh. Looking for the basketball pass over the top. Elia to McIntosh. The long ball out to Logan Campbell. Logan Campbell! What a try! Sensational!
Ken McIntosh again, picking that gap with that long pass. There was nothing on there really, and Logan Campbell just made plenty of it.
Here it is, Logan Campbell busting his way through 1, 2, 3 tackles, reaches out, too much power, too much strength, and that's a great try for Logan Campbell. 12th try of the year.
Northcote looked a little bit disorganised, but this just shows what a good pass and hard running can do. There's no way Campbell should have scored this try. He goes through at least 3 man-hour tacklers and goes over. Plenty of power, plenty of pace and strength, and that's what it's all about. Again, the quick feed from Elia. Looking ahead to McIntosh, and he flicks it all the way out to Campbell. Good work, Logan Campbell. Buster a forward too.
Great skills there by Logan Campbell. This is Kenny McIntosh. Logan Campbell, number 4. There he is. And the word is from one of the Auckland agents for the Winfield Cup. He'll be playing for the Newcastle Knights next year. He's been offered a 2-year contract and looks set to actually go and join the Knights. Logan Campbell, that's from the Auckland agent. And the post, the goal, actually, I should say, the conversion actually hit the post there. That's Kahu Baranafiaki telling me earlier this week that Logan Campbell will get the nod to join the Newcastle Knights. What a great way to celebrate too, with a crucial try just before half-time with your side down to 12 men. And that's a spectacular bit of spirit by the Northcote Tigers to take the lead by 11 points to 2. So it's Phil Filippo.
Come on, Marco. Stand forward.
10 minutes has changed the whole complexion of this ball game. Shot carry. Once again, the Tigers looking dangerous. Back to Greer.
The big difference is Clint is Northcote starting to use their backs, and it just showing what a potent weapon they are when they're used properly.
Mark Elia, 40 metres out now. Northcote still on attack. Fasuafa. Kenny McIntosh. Back to McIntosh. Up goes the bomb. It's going nowhere as the hooter goes for half-time. And Donald Stewart's picked it up. Tommy Sutton's going to have to make a great tackle. And he does so to save what could have been another try right on the break. So, Dominic Clark will have a lot to think about for his half-time message as the cheers go up from the Northcote fans as they head towards the tunnel and the rethink at half-time. Freddie Arcoy, your thoughts on the first 40 minutes?
Well, I'll tell you what, if Northcote play like this with Tony Tumalava in the dressing rooms, Tony better stay in there because they're coming alight. And as far as Mount Albert's concerned, I think they're just falling into a bit of complacency with regards to only playing against 12 guys that they haven't kept the intensity on as they have through in the first 3 quarters of the game. So they've really got to get their work, cut out for them in the next second half.
Freddie, do you think Mount Albert's intensity's dropped away, or has Northcote just picked up?
A bit of both, I think. A bit of both, because I think with Northcote having Tony off, that really woke them up. They really thought that they've got to get some stuff together and start playing. Otherwise, they're going to be, you know, their backs are going to be against the wall if Mount Albert kept it up. But certainly they've come good. They've come good in a very big way, and especially in the last 10 minutes of this half. That's very crucial.
So after 40 minutes, Northcote lead by 11-2. We'll be back with the half-time comments from Kiwi prop Brent Todd right after this break.
This is the factory where our Century 21 real estate signs are made. You're probably seeing more and more of them in your area. One reason is this. Century 21 can show you 21 ways to help you sell your home faster. Our sign maker says it should be 22 ways. He reckons it's his signs.
Century 21! Wow, I feel good.
Decker's giant cut price coupon sale is on. You'll find September's coupon sale booklet in your letterbox now. There's over 80 money-saving coupons with discounts totaling more than $325 on toys and games, microwaves, kitchen appliances, plasticware, women's and men's underwear, Manchester confectionery, glassware, gardening and infants wear. Look for your coupon sale booklet in your mailbox now or ask for one at your local Decker store. Decker's giant coupon sale on now at Decker, where saving feels good.
Stay cool. Just use your charm.
Wake up on top of the world. City, really. Bounce up and take on the world. City, really.
Start your day on top of the world. Sealy Posturepedic, designed in cooperation with orthopedic surgeons to stop backache caused by a too soft mattress. Wake on top of the world with Sealy Posturepedic and sail through your day.
Get that City Posturepedic feeling. City, really.
Like me, many women lead busy, active lives. But no matter how fit you are, you can be faced with women-only health problems. Problems that can be both traumatic and expensive to deal with.
Now there's First Lady Insurance Protection, especially for women.
First Lady Insurance gives you security and control when you need them most, with immediate cash payments on diagnosis to spend as and when you choose. First Lady Insurance also helps to pay for regular mammograms and smear tests, plus extra protection you simply won't find in ordinary insurance. Acceptance is guaranteed for every woman under 60 with no medical examination required. Premiums start from as low as $7.95 a month and the first month's free. First Lady, insurance protection especially for you.
For full details of First Lady Insurance, phone 0800 65 7777 now.
He was worth $25 million.
I did the lot.
The whole lot.
Now, Ian Kiernan wants to clean up the world.
I knew the river was in bad state, but I didn't realise it was as bad as that.
Death metal bands like Carcass are making it big in the 90s.
That's pretty toxic stuff.
The question is it harmless or the work of the devil?
You're practicing Satanists out there?
60 Minutes tonight, 7:30 on 3.
Welcome back to 3 Sport for the halftime comments in the grand final for 92 in the hunt for the Fox. This is the scene in the Northcote Tigers dressing room. They're up by 11 points to 2. And joining us for special halftime comments, Kiwi prop Brent Todd. How did you see the first 40 minutes, Toddy?
Well, Clint, I've just got to say, just like to excuse me voice, I had a bit of a big night with Cowboy Dean Lonergan last night up in the Bay of Islands, and to all the people there, it was a fantastic night. Listen, I reckon that the Mount Albert side are a little bit unlucky to be down. I think they've played the better football in the half. Probably the thing with the Northcote side is they've had 2 opportunities at scoring and they have scored tries. Whereas when Mount Albert are attacking the Northcote line, they can't seem to get the ball over the line. But a couple of players who have impressed me, first of all, on the Mount Albert side is Tommy Sutton. I think he brings the ball back very well, and he's made very, very good yardage when he brings the ball back. And also Fred Sapatu. I think his defence is good. He's adding a bit of staunch in the front row there. And you know, as I said, I think that I'm a little bit disappointed that the Mount Albert side aren't, you know, a bit closer, because I think in the first half they played with they played the better football. I'm sitting next to Ian Roberts up in the stand, and you know, he's been impressed with the Mount Albert side as well. But also in the Northcote side, I think Mark Eller's been playing very well. When he injects himself into the side, he makes a lot of ground, and I think he has to be involved a little bit more, you know, in the game. He tried a little kick over, and if that had come off, I think he might have, you know, gone over the line. So you know, Mark Elias had a great game, and Phil Filippo, the front row, I think that he's having a fantastic game. He's taking the ball up. He's one of the forwards who is taking the ball up, and I think he's having a great game. And you know, you look into the dressing sheet, they look pretty composed there, the Northcote side, and I'd say it's probably hard to predict at this stage, but I think Northcote are going to run away with it.
Let's take a look at the 2 tries that happened in the last 10 minutes right on that first spell. And this is the first one here, out to Vaiafoa, the big hit man, finishing off a spectacular move that went about 40 metres for the Tigers. Crashes over in the corner for the first try. Remember, they were down to 12 men at this stage. Tari Tuamavavi, the captain, sent off, sitting in the sin bin. And here's that last pass from Phil Filippo. Was that a line ball?
Well, it looked to me like it was right on the money. Vaiafoa's run onto extremely hard. There's no way he was going to be stopped on his way to the line.
You know, that was a real run against the play too, that try. I thought that, you know, the Mount Albert side had been attacking for the last 10 minutes consistently and just couldn't get over the line. And it was a bit unfortunate for the Mount Albert side, because that was a real run against play, and Northcote came up with a try. I think that Northcote are giving away too many penalties, but we look at the second try here, and it's by a young guy that the Gold Coast Seagulls were chasing at the start of the year, and Logan Campbell, and I've been very impressed, but I think he does have to inject himself a little bit more in the game with Mark Elia. If those two get into the game, I'm sure that Northcote can run away with it.
I think a lot of the problem is, Toddy, is that they're not getting enough ball from their halves. The forwards are hogging the ball too much. We've seen the backs coming in trying to take the ball close to the ruck. If they just held out there and called it from Kenny McIntosh to spin it wide, we'd see a lot more penetration coming from the Northcote backs.
Yeah, well, being a front row, I know I'd never want to you know, give it to the forwards, because I think they do a fantastic job, those forward boys, and keep it up, guys. You're going fantastic.
Let's take a look at the top tacklers after the first 40 minutes. As you can see there, Northcote 90, Mount Albert 116, Kite, Sapatu and Tatupu leading the way for the Lions. Tony Tuamavavi, even though he spent 10 minutes off the field in the sin bin, still leading the top tackle count with 15. Filippo 12, Carey 11. Brent Todd, thanks very much for your halftime comments. We'll be back with the second half right after this break. Northcote leading 11-2.
Tonight, search and rescue teams are scouring the Hawaiian island of Kauai, looking for casualties of powerful Hurricane Iniki. One person is confirmed dead on a neighbouring Oahu, and scores of injured are being treated in hospital on Kauai. Also tonight, a free-for-all between London's skinheads and anti-fascists. Gambling addictions take hold of the nation's youth, and the first husband and wife team go into orbit. The details, 6 o'clock tonight.